New boys, new year.
The same old new.
Big boy.
No.
Oh.
What the fuck just happened? It's good. It's
John's
good.
smoking his mic.
I got a little Monster Loca Mocha Java Monster. I'm coffee today, baby.
He's coffee, and I'm Monster Mango Loco. And together, we feel like we are doing the first podcast we've ever done before in our whole lives. Yeah.
Welcome back, motherfucker!
Big boy. We rockin', big boys talking. Got my Nikes on, John's crockin'. It might be shocking. It's just big boys talking. Turkeys flocking. Big boys talking. Apple sausage. Big boys talking.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Big Boys Talkin' Podcast.
I am sitting here with Jonathan, and he is Jonathan.
Me, Big John. And I am sitting here with Matt.
Yeah.
And Matt is sitting here.
Yeah. And we're here to talk to you today about stuff.
And things.
Yeah. And maybe even about the fact that we
Are here.
And that's the first time we've done that in 2022.
Woo, 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 woo. It feels good. It feels great to be back, boy. Did the 2 weeks off suck butt?
Yeah, it really did. And so like we said it last week, we're going to say it again this week. Sorry.
Life has really sucked lately.
Yeah. Pretty much like
We're getting naked.
It snowed a bunch, right? That was the starter.
Yep.
It snowed a bunch. All the holidays are over, so we get to be sad and we get to be all depressed and angry because it's not summer yet. Even though I like the winter, my head doesn't.
Yep.
So it snowed a bunch. It snowed so much, and it actually wasn't even that much compared to other places I've been. But it snowed enough to cause our state to just go haywire, and it flipped upside down, and it was like the Fortnite map this season.
Yep. No.
And then at the same time that it snowed really bad, we were supposed to go on tour, but then the Backstreet Boys World Tour, which is what a YouTuber I watched called Coronavirus for the first year that it was a thing, that's still going on. And so 2 of the 3 dates on our run with Age of Panic didn't happen. And that made us sad and upset.
It sucked.
While it was snowing. So we were sitting at home, trapped in our houses, just pissed and angry and probably crying.
I cried.
Sniffling and whatnot.
And I farted.
I definitely did that. I've been really gassy lately.
I've been shitting.
And then we thought, well, there's no way possible that we could continue being this depressed into the next entire week. But boy, were we wrong.
Right.
And we almost didn't even get to do this week because of yet another case of snow and fucking COVID.
COVID!
It's just I don't know. Everything, the world's going crazy.
The only highlight to all of this was we still got to play our Knoxville, Tennessee show.
We love Knoxville. You should too.
And that show was everything to me. I needed that.
It was so fun. People were thrown. Bodies were slammed. Tunes were played. Riffs were chugged.
We played our new song perfect. It was wild. I couldn't believe it. That new set sounded so good. And boy, did it not sound good at practice. There's an inside scoop to the Retribution camp, baby.
I hope all the boys watch this because if we ever sound like that again, I'm going to say it. I'm going to say, come on, guys.
Matt got dad mode
Dude,
on.
straight up, I was so
He got more
disappointed
dad
in
mode
us.
than I did.
It's okay though. We made it
crazy.
through. We made it through. What matters is that we had a good time.
We did.
That we got to see insane bands like Sanity and Slug and Age of Panic.
That was a stacked show, dude.
We got to, if we didn't have to come home and work the next day, we were going to stay and watch a drag show, which I haven't been to a drag show in like a couple years.
Yeah, there was
COVID.
a free drag show that happened directly after our show at the same venue, which was awesome.
Yep.
And they were hanging out watching us play.
It was
so cool.
Oh yeah, and we all bootstrapped up and like went as hard as we could to get all of our crap out of there as fast as we could so they could go ahead and start the drag show because the place was double booked and nobody knew it.
It was good.
It was a great time. It really was. It was like a breath of fresh air.
It was. And then we went to Waffle House, and we had there was one waitress and one cook.
Gosh.
And let me tell you something.
Best ran Waffle House.
Phenomenal. Well, I was watching that cook whip it up. She's just yelling out orders, and he was just like, just killing it.
All of our food.
Killing it.
What we brought like 12 people into that restaurant?
Yeah, well, there was all of us, so there's 5 of us, and then all of Age of Panic plus
Emily.
Emily, Brandon's girlfriend.
So yeah, that's 11 people. We brought 11 people into that restaurant at like 12:15, and they got nothing wrong.
Killed it.
The only thing that was slightly incorrect is she couldn't remember if I had a Diet Coke or a Coke, and she accidentally mixed Diet Coke and gave it to me, and I was like, this is weird. And she was like, I didn't want to tell you. And I was like, thank you. I appreciate your honesty. Please take this $10 tip. Dude, that lady got fat tipped by us that night.
We all tipped her real good.
She probably went home and
I sold so many.
Had a good night. I don't know.
I sold so many of those bootleg shirts at that show.
Hell yeah! So well, Knoxville's the place for it.
I was just like, here you go, baby doll.
You were down in wrestling territory. I mean, there's a wrestler for the damn mayor.
Hell yeah, Bubba. Listen, that was so.
I got stone cold stunned.
You did.
I got stone cold stunned during the show. I forgot about it completely.
It was tight.
Our new friend that looks like Jonah.
Jonah 2.0.
Yeah, Jonah 2.
But no, like to top off that whole weekend too is we had got new merch for the run, and our friend Marky prints our stuff, and he lives in Cincinnati, and he ships to me, which is really like an hour and a half trip one way. So in reality, if he ships UPS to me, that's like shipping in state. So you get it the next day.
Right.
It's always been the case. But he happened to ship out on the day that the snow started shitting on us.
Yep.
So it got completely delayed, and we didn't get our merch until the day after the Knoxville show.
Monday morning, baby.
Yeah, I got a text from my wife, and then she was like, hey, your shirt showed up. And I was like, oh, great. Good.
It's really funny. It's also really funny that, like, I'm still, like, I think I'm going to wait until after our next show, and then I'm going to let everybody at work know, like, hey, if you guys want shirts, like, you guys can get them.
Yeah,
because with the amount of people that I have at work that want a shirt, we're just going to have to buy these shirts, like, immediately with the money.
Like, I almost want to just, like, keep stocking up on different merch. And then so when we play, like, cool shows, we just have a big fat merch spread.
Yeah.
People are like, damn, dog.
Dang.
Dong.
Shout out Chris Wiffro. Dong. I know he ain't watched this, but
that's a big-ass moon.
Damn, baby. That moon's big ass.
Oh, shit. That's old.
That's some old jokes right there.
Yeah, man.
Yo, you know what I see over there on your little shelf?
What do you see?
I see a little sting.
Oh,
I see a little sting in his little case.
Little guy.
You know what that reminds me of?
What's that?
That reminds me of the fact that I pulled a really weird move recently.
Oh.
And I bought me and my wife have always been like, my wife and I have always been like the type that are like, man, TV's stupid. Why would people buy a TV package? That's dumb. And like, I still kind of agree. But like, I don't know. I think I'm just like manic searching for normalcy.
Yeah.
And like a schedule and like something to stay like adhered to.
Yeah.
Because I'm just kind of like losing it in the winter right now. And so I bought a TV package, and it's stupid, but like I got to watch wrestling. I got to watch AEW. I got to really get immersed. I went on a full immersion pack on Wednesday, brother. Let me tell you, I learned, and I watched, and I felt Oh my
For
God.
the first time in your life, you could actually say, "It's still real to me, God damn it!"
It's still real. Sorry.
Oh man,
Still real.
let me tell you, I was so happy you watched it. Like, I didn't know if you were gonna watch, and then you sent me a text. Like, I'd started watching, you sent me a text about it, and I was like, oh, he
really is watching.
Yeah, dude, that was so fun. Like, even though like you weren't here, but we were texting back and forth the whole show.
Literally every like 5 minutes, I would just message John what I was saying out loud, which was, "Yo, oh," over and over again because it was just insane.
It's
Like,
so good, dude.
especially, dude. Well, I mean, like, start to finish, it was crazy. But watching Sting double clothesline the #1 tag team in AEW right now.
Yeah,
Get off my mat. You know, like,
They-
get out of
they
here.
killed it, and they did that, and then him jumping from the platform.
Insane.
That was a good like 10-foot clear.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Onto
He's
him, onto
62
the
years
table.
old. I looked it up.
62.
I was like, how old is Sting? 62.
Sting
He's my
is-
dad's age.
Sting. So there's Sting and there's
My dad's almost 62. If you watch this, don't get mad at me.
Ricky Morton, who is part of the Rockers or the Rock and Roll Express. Excuse me.
Okay.
And
I knocked off the thing, sorry.
Ricky's old too, and he's been in GCW, and they do like hardcore matches all the time.
Yeah.
And he's still taking chairs and doing all. He did a Canadian Destroyer, which is like what Adam Cole does, where he jumps off the second rope.
Yeah.
And they do the flip
Mm-hmm.
onto the head like a pile driver.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what that is. Ricky Morton's like in his 60s doing that.
That's crazy.
It's insane. Like some of these old dudes, the way they can keep up, crazy. Like Billy Gunn. Those were the guys that jumped Christian backstage.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
That's his two sons, like in real life, and they all look alike. It's weird. But Billy Gunn is like in his like mid to late 50s, I think, and he's still just
Crazy.
jacked
Yeah.
and looks insane. It's just wild, man, because some of those wrestlers, they just completely and utterly fall apart. And then some of those dudes just keep on trucking, take care of themselves. Like Sting, I think, is like the picture perfect, like what a wrestler could have been if they took care of themselves in the 80s and 90s.
Yeah, and they didn't just like do a bunch of like blow and drink a bunch of alcohol and get a bunch of ED.
Yeah, more or less.
We've all seen. You've all seen the whole behind the ring thing. Come
Yeah.
on, let's be real about it.
Y'all seen what Hulk Hogan looks like now? Saggy titty bitch.
Oh, look at Ric Flair.
Yeah, dude. Rick, I honestly,
His woo is like,
I can't believe Ric Flair is alive.
can't either.
Have you seen that picture that recently surfaced of him?
Yes. He does. When I was in Florida,
Amazing.
he does. There's a car place, like a collision center.
Yeah.
It's like really popular in Florida, and they have like a lot of commercials. They have like Shaq on a commercial, like a few other people on a commercial. Ric Flair was on a commercial from like this past year. Like it was a new commercial.
That's amazing.
And he was literally like, "I'm Ric Flair, and I want you to bring your car down here." Woo!
That's just so out of
It's like,
breath.
oh my God, are you okay?
Why you got emphysema?
Someone please get him. Someone please bring this man one of them like enzyme drinks. What are them shit? The Pedialytes. Bring him a Pedialyte, please.
Dude, what's crazy is his daughter Charlotte Flair. She's still in WWE, but she's engaged to this wrestler. He was Andrade. Now he's Andrade El Idolo. He's in AEW, but he was down doing a match in AAA wrestling, which is Mexican production. It's like the big Mexican wrestling place. God,
Organization.
I just had a.
Yeah.
I was stupid for a
John's
second.
brain went. Bzz, bzz, bzz. It was like two wires connecting, and they were going. Bzz,
Guys,
bzz,
I'm barely hanging
bzz,
on from this
bzz.
week. I'm sorry. But yeah, and so Andrade comes out, and Ric Flair comes out with him, and the guy he was
snap.
wrestling, an old wrestler from the 80s and 90s, Conan, who is a
think
Latino wrestler.
I've heard of him.
Yeah, he's like, dude, he was thug as hell. back in the 90s, and he was part of NWO, and he made NWO.
Oh,
just,
yeah,
like,
yeah. I've
straight
definitely
thug.
heard of him then, yeah.
Like, he came out to, like, some straight, like, West Coast sounding hip-hop music. Like, it was like, and he'd just be like, dude.
Fool.
But, you know, both Flair and Conan are real old at this point. But I swear to God, dude, they got in that ring, and they did a little spot during it.
Yeah.
Where Flair clotheslined Conan down and put that sumbitch in the figure 4, along with Andrade putting the other guy in a figure 4. Boy, Flair still got it.
He still got
And
it.
there's videos like online of like Charlotte and Andrade will post, and they're like at the Bahamas or something because, you know, they're rich wrestlers.
Right.
They do what they want. And fucking Andrade is like suplexing Ric Flair into the water.
It's like,
He's like, come over here, Andrade. Suplex me. Woo! And he's like, yeah, Ric Flair, you're crazy, baby.
please be careful with Mr. Flair.
Don't break the Flair.
Big shouts out to Mox. I didn't know what he looked like.
Yeah.
Everybody who knows, like, watches this, if it's not obvious at this point, John likes wrestling, and I don't actually like wrestling, but I'm trying to get into it. And I really, really enjoyed watching AEW the other day, so it's gonna happen now.
Yeah.
I had never. It's John Moxley, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'd never heard of him before or anything. And like while I was talking to John, I was like, "This dude's like, what an attitude! Like I like it. Like what a badass." And he was like, "Yeah, he is kind of a badass, but like he just got out of rehab for alcoholism. Like he beat that shit, and like he looks great now." I saw a picture of him like the last time he was on TV with AEW versus Wednesday. Oh my god!
Yeah, dude.
He looked like. I don't know. He just looked like the walking antithesis of like hypertension.
He dude, like compared to then, he just looks so healthy.
Yeah, he does. He
loose.
literally looks like a different person.
And dude, that promo, woo, cold chills, dude.
Boy,
Because that was real. Like
Yeah.
that was my thing. Like he was in character, obviously at the end, but that first part was legit.
yeah. When they hit him with that "Welcome Back" chant, I was
Yeah.
like, "Man, what's going on?"
Oh,
and then when
dude.
you told me about it, I was like,
Yeah.
"Wrestling will have me crying the first
Boy,
5 minutes
I had
of me
a- I had a-
watching
I
it."
had a damn tear coming out of my eye during that part.
God.
And what was really funny, that one dude, he was like in the crowd was like, "You sack of shit, drug."
Oh, yeah, and he was like-
he was just like,
Get him the fuck
yeah,
out
he's
of
like,
here!
"Fuck you, buddy. Get that piece of shit out of here." And I'm like, dude, AEW has been rolling that back all over their social media and TV. Like, people were trying to say, like, TBS, are you going to let them do that? And they were like, hell yeah, we're going to let them do that. Screw that guy. I'm like, yeah, TBS and AEW, let him drop the F-bomb, baby. Yeah,
Hey,
that was wild.
What are you gonna do? Go back and fix it? I mean, come on now. Take the fine. It's all right. We can all
Tony
handle
Khan
it.
can afford it.
Honestly, I didn't realize that AEW just got started in 2019. That's kind of
Yeah,
impressive.
it is. It's a new company, Bubba.
Like, brand new.
It's
awesome.
cool. So, like, a little backstory for AEW, for just like real quick.
Wrestling. This is a wrestling podcast
This is a
now.
wrestling podcast now, motherfucker. Big boy suplex.
That would be. We're not gonna do that probably.
But how
I'm gonna
funny
keep
would
y'all
that be?
guessing. But how funny would it be if we put out nearly 20 episodes as like just a random
All of
podcast,
2022
and then
is
we just
just
switch it to
podcast?
wrestling?
Holy shit!
Fooled you. You got ketchup on your hand.
Holy shit! You guys don't know what that is, but it's funny. We'll get back to that one.
Yeah, we'll come
But
back to
first,
that. We'll come
so
back to that.
AEW was a collaboration between wrestlers and the man Tony Khan. Tony Khan, if you don't know who he is, his dad was something Khan, who had a thing to do with TNT and TBS back in the day,
Okay.
as well as he owns the Jaguars, wherever the football team Jaguars is.
Oh yeah, the
Yeah.
Jacksonville.
Jacksonville.
Mhm.
That's
yeah,
it.
yeah.
They own
That
them.
makes sense because it's out of Jacksonville, Florida.
Yeah.
I was reading.
So, like, during all of COVID, they had where there's Daly's Place, which is part of the Jacksonville Jaguars stadium.
Mm-hmm.
They just had AEW there all the time.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So they started with an empty arena, and where it's an outside arena, they were able to slowly start filtering people in.
Ooh,
Yeah.
sneaky.
Yeah, so it was really cool. But so Tony Khan loved wrestling. He really loved independent wrestling. and love WCW and old wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
And so does Cody Rhodes, the Young Bucks, Kenny Omega, Adam Page. All those guys and Chris Jericho had a hand in creating AEW with Tony Khan because they all befriended Tony Khan. And Tony, like, they were just kind of like, what if we start our own promotion? And it just...
So cool.
I mean, there's a lot of flaws to it, just like anything. But the product that they put out versus what WWE is putting out right now as a whole, way better. Like WWE with that whole... Did I tell you about that? There's a badass wrestler named Walter who is from Austria, and he was in their NXT UK program. So that's their whole European. Unless you really follow WWE or wrestling at all, you don't even know about NXT UK. It's just not a thing. But Walter is insane. He always has crazy matches, and he's just like he's the typical big European dude. So they've brought him over to the US finally, and he wins a match, and he gets on the mic, and he goes, "The winner of this match is Gunther," and we're all like, "Gunther, your name's Walter. You've been Walter this whole time."
Did they force him to change his name?
Comes out, there's a story that comes out. WWE trademarked the name Gunther Stark. If you Google the name Gunther Stark, you know what pops up?
What?
A Nazi, like, submarine commander, like a really famous one. That's the first thing that pops up.
Testing.
And they trademarked that name, even with the backlash of knowing that. So he didn't say he was Gunther Stark, but they still kept the Gunther.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, they abandoned it finally.
Oh, yeah. Well, they had to. The amount of backlash they were receiving.
11 hours ago.
It took that. Well, there was a huge petition. They were like, everybody was like, he's Walter. Like, I have a meme on my phone that I saved that's actually really funny. It shows Walter, and then it's one of the dudes from Coming to America, one of the guys from the barbershop.
Yeah.
He's like, his mama named him Walter. We're going to call him Walter.
Yeah.
Dude, oh my
That's
God.
so weird.
Yeah, they do that all the time. Like, there was another girl from, I don't even remember what her name was now. She was in NXT UK. They brought her over to the main roster on SmackDown, and they call her Dewdrop now.
Dude, and he's Austrian.
Yes.
Like,
I know. And he has, like, he literally comes out to, like, this Imperial March music, and, like, he's all, like, he comes out and, like, holds his hand out, like he's, like, like a European soldier guy.
Yeah.
Like, bad. And then they did that.
Like, they could have spun, like,
It hurt.
I know that, like, that's one hell of a heel. Like, especially in today's political climate, people are gonna hate him.
Yeah, no kidding, dude.
Jesus Christ. Like,
yeah, I don't even know.
Yeah,
Vince McMahon's losing.
This is what I have to say. The last actual WWE thing that I watched was that I actually, like, paid attention to and wanted to care about was that Swamp match.
Yeah.
And
you had to know.
You had to know. You had to understand wrestling. For me,
it could have been so much.
For me and Trevor to come in and watch that, because I was stoked. I was like, Trevor, dude, watching wrestling with John's so fun, dude. That last match is gonna be crazy, bro. And then that happened. I was like, yeah, I don't really want to watch. Like, I don't think I'm gonna come over for the Royal Rumble this year. Like, I don't know about it, man. So I'm glad we found something cooler to watch.
Yeah, dude. And they're like, it sucks. WWE, like, the wrestlers themselves are trying. And there's still some good stuff sprinkled in there, here and there. But
yeah, I mean, I got Rey Mysterio and his son.
Yeah, and Brock Lesnar is actually a baby face right now, and it's really awesome.
Yeah,
it's weird, but it's cool. But yeah, enough about wrestling. That's the wrestling podcast for today. Thank you guys.
Ending the wrestling segment. The wrestling segment.
No.
Tune in next week on Big Boys for the wrestling segment. Hey, we
Holy
could
shit.
actually probably start that though. That would be cool.
It's true. We could.
Yeah, we'll probably do a little Dynamite.
talk a little tidbit about AEW.
About Dynamite the week before. We're actually this doesn't involve you guys at all, but we're gonna switch days we record.
Yep.
This week, due to potential test results, we waited until Friday. So
Yeah.
John's gonna have to crunch this and get it out tomorrow.
That's why I drank the Java Monster.
Cucumba. And then, but next week and from here on out, we're planning on recording on Wednesdays, and we can talk about last week's AEW, and then we can watch this week's AEW together.
And on Fridays, 10 p.m. Rampage. We're just over here just like
Rampage.
giving free advertisement to AEW
Truly.
to all of our like 30 listeners.
Hey, you
But
know,
we love you
AEW,
fucking guys.
sponsor us.
Hey, Tony Khan, sponsor us, bro.
Honestly, actually, you don't even have to give us money. Just say,
Listen to Big Boys
just
talk.
say, listen to Big Boys talking one time,
Small and something.
and we'll just keep talking about AEW all day long.
Hell yeah, baby.
And also Liquid Death. Yeah.
Liquid Death sponsor us.
Please sponsor us. So we talked about this ketchup thing earlier.
Oh, yeah.
So we went to a really cool place in Knoxville called McKay's. Shout out McKay's.
McKay's is really cool.
They got lots of books. They got lots of content. They got lots of electronics and devices that you can find at a thrift discounted rate.
I enjoyed it.
It was fun.
I almost bought several things.
We did not because we have control. So
It was so hard.
we were outside. The people that aren't John in the band were outside, and we were smoking cigarettes. Well, I mean, I was smoking my vape, but we were, smoking
Cigarettes.
analog and electronic cigarettes.
Well, yeah. Hell out of here.
Analog. And then
Oh, no,
So-
you dropped
so
your
Sam-
your cigarette.
Shut up. So Sam got in the car. Sam's our little Q-tip boy. He got in the van, and I just thought he was getting out of the rain. It was raining the whole day, and he got in the van, and he was sitting there for a while. And then he got out the van as John and Jack were walking up, and he goes up to John, and he says, and like it didn't affect me immediately. I didn't get what was going on. I can't even think about it.
I was confused.
He said, John, no matter what happens, I love you. And John
I
goes,
should have been way more concerned.
and John goes, okay. And Sam goes, yep, I love you. And so we move past it because that doesn't matter. We're all like, oh, what are we going to do now? Because that's how we talk when we're in the band together. We all go, oh, what are we going to do? We're going to go down in the backyard and play a show? Do I want to get some pizza? Man, I'm kind of hungry, but I had a burrito earlier. So that's what John might have to put captions up so you can hear that and read it. But we get in the van, and John stops, and he goes, what did Sam do? And I was like, what? And he said, what did Sam do? He said, Sam looked at me when I came out of the store and said, no matter what happened, I love you. And I didn't think about it, but now, like, what did he do? And I was like, nothing. Because I was under the impression that we came outside and smoked cigarettes, and then Sam got in the van because he was cold and it was rainy. And then John was coming out, and he was like, oh, I can't sit in the front seat. I've got to get in the back seat now. So, and that's what happened. And he was just telling John he loves him because Sam says lots of things that seem cryptic, but they're not. They're just him being a dick. So John's like, I'm like, John, I promise you, dude, I swear. We were standing here the whole time. Like, Sam got in the van, but he was just like chilling in here and stuff. So John's like, okay, well, whatever. And he starts the van. He's like, all right. Well, get the GPS going. He gets the GPS going on his phone. He's like, boop, 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 sticks it right there. And he's like, all right. And then he goes, what the fuck? And immediately from the back seat, Sam goes, ha ha, pranked you. You got ketchup on your hands. And so and that voice said everything. He really did. Pranked you. You got ketchup on your hands. It was like some sort of like toy you get at Walmart that like it has like the line that it repeats every time, but that's the line. It's like a ketchup on your hands doll, and it just goes pranked you. It's like Joey Salads, but it's a figure. It's an action figure, and he goes pranked you. You got ketchup on your hands. So anyway,
oh god,
immediately, because we've had a conversation about what we thought was ketchup in the van earlier that day, I say, Sam, where did you get that ketchup? And he goes, what? And I said, Sam, where did you get the packets for the ketchup that you put on John's steering wheel? And he's like, don't worry about it. And I was like, were they sitting up here like next to the light, like to the where the clock is? And he was like, yeah. And I was like, Sam, that's Taco Bell fire sauce. And the most fucked up thing is that Sam had gotten it on his hands and had licked it off of his hands while he was doing it and was still fully under the impression that it was ketchup.
That's the best part. He goes, well, that's concerning.
So John's like, oh God, it's so oily and greasy. There's hand gunk and hot sauce. It was a nightmare. Epic prank though. Dude, you got epic prank. That was pretty freaking epic.
Pretty freaking epic.
I just whipped for those who can't see this.
Oh yeah, that was a good time. That was really funny.
Pranked you.
And Sam in our group text message. Sam just does all kinds of just random things. He sleeps so much.
Yeah. One time it was the day before it was the day before the show, and John was like, all right, listen, you guys, I really don't want to be late tomorrow. Like, we have to get down to Knoxville early. We can, like, go and chill at some places. We went to McKay's. We put ketchup on his steering wheel. It was hot sauce. Anyways, so we were like, John was like, be at my house as close to 12 tomorrow as you possibly can, just like as close to then as possible. That night, 7 minutes after midnight, Sam sends a message to the group chat that says, I'm here, John. I just happened to be awake. I was crying. I was in my living room. My buddy Trevor was asking me what's going on. Shelby, my wife, was like, "What is happening?" And I'm just sitting there crying, cackling, because Sam got there as close to 12 as he possibly could. All he did was follow instructions,
I was
John.
straight asleep too, dude.
Oh my God. Fucking Sam.
Oh, dude, that was great. Yeah, there's like, well, it's like today he was in the group chat. He was like, whoa, Blake Superman punched the window. We were like, there was no context.
That's it.
And I was like, wait, what?
Yeah, and that's all we got.
Yeah.
We're not going to hear anything back from him until tomorrow. So.
Oh, life is wild when you have a Sam in your life.
When you got a Sam.
When you got a Sam.
He am Sam.
Oh, man. Boy, we said it already, but we'll say it again. Feels good to be back.
It really does. It feels super good to be back. I was kind of like nervous before we like sat down.
Yeah.
I was just like, what are we gonna talk about? Like, we've spent a couple weeks off. Like,
yeah.
But like, this has been awesome.
Yeah.
It's been like real good content.
It just feels good, and it was needed.
Yeah.
Like, you guys don't like. When we say things like, we care for you guys, but even if nobody listened or watched this, we would still do it. And it's because this is the first thing I've ever found outside of music that seems to have some type of therapeutic release.
Yeah, and like, I think we're good at it. I think we're funny. And that, and it feels, even if nobody listened to this or watched this, and I just went back and watched it and laughed at it, I would feel great about it, because like I think that's what we're going for here.
Yeah, and it's cool because we're basically just recording our conversations and just sharing stories with people and with each other, and it's just fun. And yeah, man, I needed this, and it was good. Very happy for us to be back at it.
We're gonna keep on rolling, weather permitting, COVID permitting. We do have a plan. Next time we are not able to get together, we're probably just going to hop into some Twitch-like OBS style.
We can do some video calling, and through OBS Streamlabs that I have for like streaming and stuff, I can actually record I can screen record and everything.
Yeah.
So like Matt Webb calls me, I can screen record that, which we can do through Discord, and I can attach the Discord to it. So there's always a plan B. Luckily, I looked into it and I was like, cool, we can do this, as well as we are finally going to get into the video gaming.
Yeah, it's going to be hilarious. It's going to be really
We've got some good ideas. Mason dropped off the South Park game.
Oh, did he?
I've got it. I've also
Have you
got
tried it at all?
WWF Warzone. I haven't tried it yet. I haven't plugged up the 64.
Pop that cartridge in sometime this weekend.
Boy, I will. And
Crazy.
I remembered I have WWE 2K19, and that was when there's still a good roster and we can create characters. So
Yeah.
we're gonna do some really funny, silly, fun stuff.
I want to be.
games.
You're going to hear it here first, folks. I'm going to do everything I can to create Grimace in 2019 WWE. Dude, I want to fight you as Grimace so bad. Come here, Arnold.
That's so good. Well, I think that's it. I think we're good.
I think from all of us here at Big Boys Talking, which is me and John, one, we are here, and we're not going anywhere.
That's right.
And two, Big Boys Talking. We forgot to count it off.
Fuck them.
Boop, 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 boop. We rocking. Big Boys Talking. Got my Nikes on. John's crocking. It might be shocking. It's just Big Boys Talking. Turkeys squawking. Big Boys Talking. Apple sauces. Big Boys Talking.